What's good, y'all? It's Ali back at it again with another YouTube video in which I give you guys mental models you can use to become extremely successful and accomplish all the goals you are after. So let's get right into it. So today we're talking about hard. Pause. Not that hard. We're talking about hard in terms of you accomplishing your goals, because you've probably heard many times that this is hard or that is hard for whatever goals you're trying to achieve. Of course, you're like, oh, that's hard, or this is hard, or this is hard. And in your mind, like, hearing that something is hard is supposed to like affect you. Well, something being hard only affects you because you don't understand what hard actually means. What makes something actually hard? So I want to define it here for you guys today in the context of you achieving your goals. So now thinking about hard doesn't really affect you at all. In fact, it actually excites you. So what do I mean by hard in the context of you achieving your goals? All it means is something, or not even something. Sorry, wrong word there. Pain and suffering you're not used to. Yup. That is actually what makes something hard. So on whatever path you're on right now, for whatever goals you're trying to achieve, or whatever path to power you're on, right? There's pain and suffering that comes with that, right? There's trials and tribulations you have to go through. If you were already the man who was capable to achieve his goal already, you would have it. So naturally, you have to go through trials and tribulations. You have to take risks. You have to make a ton of sacrifices. You have to become disciplined. You have to become focused. You have to become consistent. All of this is painful. This causes a lot of pain and suffering, right? For whatever you're trying to achieve. This is guaranteed. Pain and suffering is guaranteed here, right? But it's only hard, whatever you're dealing with, mastering any of these skills that I just mentioned, like consistency, focus, discipline, right? It's only feels painful to make these sacrifices. It only feels painful for you dealing with the solitude or the loneliness you're currently dealing with for whatever goals you have to achieve, right? It only feels painful because you're not used to it. That's the key thing here, guys. You see, there was a time in your life when the hardest thing in your life, the most painful thing in your life, something that was making you suffer a ton in your life, was you learning how to walk. When you were a little baby, like 1 or 2 years old, the hardest thing for you was learning how to walk. Super hard. You were like, just you getting up on your 2 feet, and to take 1 or 2 steps, you were falling and shit. You were like, damn, bruh. You kept getting back up and falling and shit. The hardest thing. But now, today, you do it unconsciously, constantly, without even thinking about it at all. Not difficult at all for you to walk. Literally thoughtless, instinctual, you just walk. So the funny thing is, the same is true with whatever you have to go through for whatever goals you're trying to achieve. Eventually, you get used to the pain and suffering. You get used to it. As long as you don't stop, as long as you continue to go through the pain and suffering, you get used to it. As long as you continue to stay disciplined, which just basically means ignoring your feelings to work on your goals, you get used to it. Discipline becomes instinctive for you, right? If you continue to stay consistent, which basically just means you make sure you're always hunting distractions in your environment that can distract you from your goals, and you always remove it, and you also allow yourself to be bored, you get used to just doing the same thing the same way every single day. And even though you experience boredom, you're like, this is part of the game, so let me continue to be bored. You allow that, right? You continue to be focused, which just basically means saying no to all things that distract you from you working on your goals. Because this now gives you the time and the ability to only pay attention to your goals because you said no to everything else. That might be hard for you now for whatever goals you're trying to achieve. That consistency, that focus, that discipline might be hard for you now. But the longer you do it, the more you're going to get used to it. And then it's not going to be hard. It's actually just going to be easy. It'll be completely easy. Just like walking. You mastered it, right? Now you walk like nobody's business because you just kept walking. It was the hardest thing for you when you were like 1 or 2 years old. Now you do it unconsciously. So maybe discipline is hard for you right now. Consistency, focus. All these things are difficult for you right now. But you just because you haven't done it long enough. The loneliness you're experiencing, the solitude, right? Because for a lot of us guys, for us to accomplish our goals, we pretty much have to cut off everybody, you know, because anyone who's down the same path as us, bare minimum, is only subject to distract us. And most guys don't want to be successful. Most of you niggas would rather be bums. right? But not you. You want to win. So naturally, this leads to you being alone. And you're like, this is new. I've never experienced it before. This is hard. This is hard for me, right? Or this is hard for you. But the longer you stay alone, continuing to work on your goals, you're just going to get used to it, to the point that it becomes normal. It becomes unconscious. It becomes instinctive. That's the biggest point I want to give you guys here. Like everything, all the pain and suffering you could possibly go through, you'll just get used to it. You will. And like almost a side note of this, I want to say, of course, too, and this kind of almost shifts this into like a never give up thing. But, fuck with me here, guys. Like, that's why never giving up is so valuable. That's why never giving up makes sense, because you get used to everything. Imagine you're lifting weights in the gym, heavy ass fucking weight, and you're like, damn, this shit heavy. I should not be lifting this. It's heavy. It's like, nigga, what? Why would you stop lifting the heavy weight? Because you understand, right? You understand the fact that no, you want it to be heavy because you're going to get used to it. Your muscle's going to get bigger because you're lifting the heavy weight. So you want to keep lifting it till you get used to it. So for whatever trials and tribulations you're going on for you right now, for whatever goals you're trying to achieve, because, it's unique for all of you guys, whatever it is, you'll just get used to it. It'll become normal for you. And in fact, you want it to be hard. You want it to feel difficult because it's going to become normal. That's the whole game here, bruh. Niggas do not be saying this shit, y'all. I'm telling you, like that, everything just becomes normal. That's what you want. So the actionable step here is just stay in the game. Just literally, it doesn't matter if something is hard. And in a way, you could even take it from this and just be like, well, that means nothing is hard. In truth, we're just not used to it yet. Nothing is actually difficult. Nothing is hard. It's just not normal for us yet. It's not instinctive. We haven't been doing it long enough to the point that it becomes normal. Because, and this will be the last thing I say with this here, you don't achieve your goals, guys. You become the man who is capable of achieving your goal. Your goals just train you. Your goals make you get used to the pain and suffering required to achieve the goal you want to achieve. And that's why you want to just stay in the game, because you get used to it all, to the point that you achieving your goal, something that you would think was super hard that you achieved years ago, probably seems easy to you now, right? So whatever goals you have for your future goals, all the work and pain and suffering you're going through to achieve it, when you achieve it, you're like, well, this was inevitably going to happen. I got used to all the pain and suffering that was required for me to achieve this. And that's why I have it now. So just stay in the game, guys. You know what I'm saying? So let me know how you guys feel about this. Does this completely change your brain chemistry when it comes to things being hard, or how you feel about the word hard in itself? Will you now be able to move around and think to yourself, oh, that's hard? I can get used to it. Oh, that's hard. I'll just get used to it. That's hard. I'll just get used to it. Because you will. That's literally what's going to happen if you just stay in the game. You know what I'm saying? So if you really fuck with this shit, like the damn video. You know what I'm saying? I want more guys to see this shit. I want to keep growing the fam. This is for young, ambitious men, man. I want you guys to all accomplish your goals, reach the pinnacle of your power and your masculinity. And the way that you do that is by staying in the game and getting used to all the pain and suffering required to reach the peak of your power and masculinity. You know what I'm saying? So like the damn video, and of course subscribe too, because I'm dropping shit like this all the fucking time. Manipulating all your guys' brain chemistries. You know what I'm saying? Change your perspectives and beliefs so the world literally and really actually becomes your oyster to control, so you can accomplish all your goals, man. So like and subscribe. You know how we do it. And with that all being said, man, I'll catch you boys in the next YouTube video. Deuces.